What's up, guys? Now that I'm in something a little more comfortable, my main goal for today, or at least tonight, is getting the transmission and engine finally made together. I just picked up the engine today, but other than that, I just want to get the trans and engine mated and tweak out some things, just tweak out whatever, if any issues, tweak them out now, and then once that's done, drop everything in the car, check the fitments, all that. The other thing I want to get done tonight is get the passenger seat mounted in. The other thing I want to complete tonight is get the passenger seat put in. The only thing I'm really stuck on right now is just getting the rails mounted to the F-body rails. So the racing seat rails mounted to the F-body seat rails. Once that's done, I just gotta drill a couple holes in the seat, and it should be easy to go from there. Hope there really isn't any other issues with that, but yeah. Good news, guys, we've got the flywheel on. I just need to torque it down. 85 foot-pounds is the spec for them. So I'll get these guys tightened down, torqued down, and then we'll get the torque converter on. Stay tuned. Well, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there is a little bit of a gap here. Tried torquing it down. Mainly I was just using the electric ratchet there, just to not to torque them down, just to get them tight. And I realized that I had this gap all around, so I'm letting the battery charge on the impact, and then once I get them snug, I will torque them down to 85 foot-pounds. But while we wait for this, let's go ahead and get the seat installed. Actually ran into an issue while putting the seat mounts on. This bolt is a little too long, and it won't let the slide fully slide up or down, so I'm gonna go to Home Depot and see if they have anything smaller than this. All right, leaving Ace, got the correct hardware. Let's get to it. I got the seats in, ready to go. I just need to drill a couple more holes in this seat just to get it to fit right, but I'll do that in a sec. Currently just torquing down the flywheel bolts and then getting this monster of a front dampener / harmonic balancer on. This thing's about, let's see what size this guy is. 1 1/16. Yeah, that checks out with how big that bolt is, but that thing's huge. Look at that. All right, so we're gonna get to torquing these guys down. 85 foot-pounds is what this says. 85 foot-pounds for these flywheel bolts. Let's get them on. I've got a little rig I put together just to keep the flywheel from spinning once I torque all these guys down. And yeah, let's get to it. Got everything torqued down as far as the flywheel bolts go. So next we're gonna install the torque converter. Let's go take a look at it. This here is the high performance torque converter for a TH400 or TH350. Obviously my application is gonna be a 400, but we'll pop this guy off, put a quart of transmission fluid in her, and she should be good to go. Got your generic Napa automatic trans fluid, so we'll just pour this guy in there. And That should be fine. That's about not even a quarter of the bottle, but should be fine. There. So there's the fluid in the converter. It's bubbling up a little bit. Hopefully the level goes down a little bit. If it does, we'll pour the rest of the bottle, but if not, we'll just go with this and see what happens. As you guys can see, the fluid's empty. The torque converter is on the transmission. I'm gonna put this little adapter piece right here. I believe it goes this way. Let's see how it goes with the torque converter real quick. Just go like that. Yeah, go like that, and then that will go into the actual crank piece itself. So there we go. Now, as far as the seat goes, I am having some issues just trying to line up these rear holes with the new bracket, but that might just be a tomorrow thing because I need to pull the whole thing out, drill a new hole in the actual bracket itself to match with the seat. The front ones I've got fine. I just need to fix the rear one, but we'll continue that tomorrow. Well, I've got the water pump on, and up next, I'm just gonna try and get the torque converter mounted onto the, or at least the full trans if I can, mounted onto the backside of the engine. It's just gonna be really hard doing it with this this Harbor Freight engine hoist, and then with how heavy this trans is. So I'm gonna at least try and get another pair of hands to give me a hand lifting this and then just sliding this on here. We'll see how that goes. It's been a couple days, guys, but good news. I've got the Holley EFI harness fully put together. My buddy Ross came by earlier today and gave me a hand and just connecting everything, connecting the sensors to the harness itself and getting everything kind of set up just to connect to the motor once the motor's dropped in. On the topic of the motor, we've got alternator bracket on, harmonic balancer is fully torqued on there, brand new swivel coolant, or brand new swivel water pump outlet. And then we have the coil pack harnesses on each valve cover installed. That I have the ICT billet manual accessory belt drive, so I'll be installing that on the motor as well. On top of that, as far as today's goal, I at least want to get the transmission mated to the motor, and with everything else accessory wise on the front of the motor being installed, I can focus solely on getting the torque converter bolts torqued down on the back of the motor and mating the transmission and motor into one piece. Wish me luck, guys. What's up, guys? Right now I'm putting in the spark plugs in the cylinder head. So what happened is, it's in the middle. I can't get this in just due to the motor mounts outfitting and the engine not being at an angle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it back out, lower it on the crate, hook it up to the front loop. That way the engine's at an angle on the front and I'll be able to slide her in like that. And hopefully we should be able to hook everything up. Wish me luck, guys. Well, guys, I had to make a quick Harbor Freight run, grab this load leveler to actually get the engine a little more angled to what I want. It's gotta be pretty angled and this ain't gonna cut it. So we'll get her back down on the crate for the third time and hope this one works. So what I had to do now is I'm undoing the harmonic balancer, pulling it off, seeing if we get some better leeway with the motor without the harmonic balancer on it. And then with that, I'll just reinstall the harmonic balancer from underneath. All right, so motor's almost in, fingers crossed. I've got one motor mount just about ready to go in. The other side's kind of giving me a hard time, so I'm not sure if I should just let the one fall in and see if this one falls into place afterwards. But it seems to be hitting that rubber bushing right there with the actual mount itself. So we'll see. I'm gonna try and at least get this one in and see if this one kind of works itself in. Wish me luck, guys. So far, I've got one motor mount in. Just need to get the other side. It's somewhat lined up, so I'm gonna try and position the engine to where that's lined up and I can slide the other one right in. Good news, motor's in. All I gotta do is just tighten down these motor mounts. I had to remove the passenger side motor mount from the frame and then that bolt slid right through. Now I just gotta tighten down the bolts and she'll be good to go. But she's sitting good. I'll get the harmonic balancer back on, get the water pump back on. Hopefully take all this stuff off, maybe pop the intake on there, or at least test fit it. We'll be good to go. Motor's in, water pump's back on. I have to tighten up the harmonic balancer. But after that, I also need to swap the valve covers. So the oil fill is actually in the back and that's kind of be a pain in the ass to fill. So I'm gonna swap these guys around and that should be it. Once that's done, we can throw the intake on. But I think that's really it, guys. Thanks for sticking with me through dropping the motor in and getting everything tightened up. But, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully we can throw the intake on, maybe get this thing running. So what I had to do now is I'm undoing the harmonic balancer, pulling it off, seeing if we get some better leeway with the motor without the harmonic balancer on it. And then with that, I'll just reinstall the harmonic balancer from underneath. All right, so motor's almost in, fingers crossed. I've got one motor mount just about ready to go in. The other side's kind of giving me a hard time, so I'm not sure if I should just let the one fall in and see if this one falls into place afterwards. But it seems to be hitting that rubber bushing right there with the actual mount itself. So we'll see. I'm gonna try and at least get this one in and see if this one kind of works itself in. Wish me luck, guys. So far, I've got one motor mount in. Just need to get the other side. It's somewhat lined up, so I'm gonna try and position the engine to where that's lined up and I can slide the other one right in. Good news, motor's in. All I gotta do is just tighten down these motor mounts. I had to remove the passenger side motor mount from the frame and then that bolt slid right through. Now I just gotta tighten down the bolts and she'll be good to go. But she's sitting good. I'll get the harmonic balancer back on, get the water pump back on. Hopefully take all this stuff off, maybe pop the intake on there, or at least test fit it. We'll be good to go. Motor's in, water pump's back on. I have to tighten up the harmonic balancer. But after that, I also need to swap the valve covers. So the oil fill is actually in the back, and that's kind of be a pain in the ass to fill. So I'm gonna swap these guys around, and that should be it. Once that's done, we can throw the intake on. But I think that's really it, guys. Thanks for sticking with me through dropping the motor in and getting everything tightened up. But and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully we can throw the intake on, maybe get this thing running. So I've got the radiator mounted, just a test fit. I've got a battery ready to go. I've got the Holley harness just kind of tucked away in here for now until I get this transmission fully in. Now, I've got the torque converter fully connected. Now I'm just really trying to line up these dowel holes. I kind of just have a screwdriver in there for reference. I gotta kind of just shimmy it up in there. So it's hard to do as one person. So I'm trying to see if any friends can come by and give me a hand with it tonight. So I've got the converter out right now. We're gonna try and get, two thuds, I believe, 2 solid thuds. And that'll show that that'll be that it's installed. So first one. Rotate these guys and getting them. Here's that second one. Trans is in, cross member, as well as the full drive shaft. Making some great progress here, guys. Next thing up is I need to pull this truck water pump off, throw the LS3 water pump on. We'll be good to go there. Throw the alternator on, and then we'll get the cooling system started, as well as maybe throw the starter in and see how she fits with the 5.3 flex plate. I'm going to start off by closing this video with just a couple setbacks on the motor itself. One being the coolant line coming from the LS3 water pump to the radiator. One more being the oil filter lines, which I have the oil filter sandwich plate here. Just need to get an oil filter. It'll fit this and then run the outlet line. I already have the inlet line hooked up to the oil pan. And then one last thing, which I will show you guys now. Biggest issue yet with this guy is the torque converter will not line up with the 5.3 flex plate. That being said, I can't line these bolts up with these holes here. Yet, so I have ordered a 4L60 or 4L80 flex plate, and hopefully that should do the trick. Really hoping that fixes our problem here, because this car is pretty much almost done. I don't want to jinx it by saying this, but it's almost done. All of the Holley is wired up. Shifter works fine with the TH400. Long tubes are installed. And the intake's all bolted on. So, like I said, I just really hope that this goes smooth once I get the new flex plate. See you guys in the next one.